We're going to continue on this afternoon with our black belt certifications. Before we do, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker this afternoon. The man standing next to my right, Dr. Jeff Guina. Give you a little background on Dr. Guina. He didn't know I was going to do this. So I'll do this part first, just so you can all get a chance to know who we have speaking to us this afternoon. For those of you that don't know, Dr. Guina is the Chief Medical Officer at Eastern Seals, Michigan. He's board certified in psychiatry by both the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology. Clearly I'm not, because I can't say most of these things. And the National Board of Physicians and Surgeons. Also in addiction medicine by the American Board of Preventive Medicine, and forensic psychiatry by the American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology. I'm getting better. Community and public psychiatry by the American Association of Community Psychiatrists. He's a fellow of the American Psychiatric Association. After receiving his MD from Wayne State and completing his psychiatry residency at Wayne State and the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, he completed 2 psychiatry fellowships from the University of Michigan and Wayne State University. He's worked for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services as an active duty psychiatrist in the U.S. Air Force. He especially enjoys teaching and research. He's held faculty positions at Michigan State, Oakland University, Uniformed Services University, University of Michigan, and Wright State University. His educational activities have led to multiple awards and accolades, including the Golden Apple Award at Wright State and the Command Level Physician Educator of the Year in the U.S. Air Force. Dr. Guina has authored over 40 scholarly manuscripts, review articles, book chapters, etc. He's won state and national awards for his original research on the post-traumatic stress disorder. His interests include trauma, developmental disabilities, addiction, psychotherapy, and not going to try that last one, but something very important. But as great as all of that is, you saw his martial talent, of course, on the floor. But I think one of the best parts of that bio is the long friendship that we've had. And so Dr. Guina has been doing the martial arts, and been living the martial arts lifestyle now, coincidentally, for 30 years. So I don't know about you, but I'm interested to hear what this guy has to say. He predates me in the martial arts. He started before myself and Senpai. And we had the pleasure of growing up together alongside of one another. So, ladies and gentlemen, our senior graduate, Dr. Jeffrey Guina.
Wow, thank you. 30 years, it's kind of crazy to think that I've been doing this 30 years. Martial arts has had just a hugely profound impact on my life. Too many things to possibly even talk about. I don't want to bore you too much with all of the things that I could talk about how it's impacted my life, but I will say that I think I'm a better father, a better husband, a better doctor, just a better person in general because of the martial arts. And I'd like to talk about 3 things that I've noticed, just my attitude and my motivations that have changed since I first started the martial arts, and because of the martial arts. And as Sensei noted, I do a lot of teaching with medical students and nursing students and doctors and training. And whenever there's a performance issue, I always think about is this a knowledge deficit problem? Is this a skills problem? Or is this an attitude problem? Or another way to say it, is this about motivation? Sorry, is this about ability, stability, or motivation? And when it comes to knowledge and skills problems, those are the easiest to fix because you just invest some time in that person, help teach them, help show them, help tell them. Maybe there's a PowerPoint, maybe you give them a book, or maybe you show them a video. In karate, put your hand here, not here. Those sorts of things. But attitude and motivation, those are hard things to teach, to develop, to fix, to improve. And I think that's what martial arts in general, but this school in particular does better than anywhere else. Better than any coach or sports, and better than many just life events that happen. That you can see kids and adults, their attitudes, their motivations change and improve. And so one place that I wanted to talk about is what's called a growth mindset. And if you want to understand more about like the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, just Google it, look at images. You can see like a picture real easy that explains all of it real easy. But when I was a kid and I started, and I think most kids, and a lot of adults unfortunately, tend to have kind of this fixed mindset, this idea that there's things I'm good at, there's things I'm not good at. And if you try to correct me or if you try to criticize me, you're attacking me as a person. Because there's nothing I can do to get better at that thing. Whereas a growth mindset is really about always, constantly striving to be better, seeking criticism, seeking corrections. And that's something that we do at karate every single day. Every single day, the teachers are walking around and saying, do this, try this. And it's very easy, and I remember being there as a young kid, thinking, oh, this is embarrassing, or I'm mad about that, or this is as good as a kid's kata in particular. Just doing this kata over and over and over. I know this. Why am I doing this again? Why am I doing this over and over? We've been working on it for 30 minutes. I'm done. I'm done now. Now I think about my mindset then, and I think about my mindset now. Now I am just so happy when sensei, when senpai, when any of the instructors invest their time in me, take the time to come over and show me a few things that I can do better and I can improve at. And it's nonstop. It never stops. Where you can always get better. And that aspiration to always try to grow and improve, try to obtain this unattainable perfection, I think is something that we can all apply to all areas of our life. Because there are people all around us, in our romantic relationships, in our friendships, at work, that there are opportunities for us to seek feedback and try to get better. And if someone is taking the time to tell us something that we're doing maybe not so good, or something that we can do better, I think that's what a gift. And I think that's just built into the martial arts. Second thing I would say that my attitude is drastically changed on is just meditation. It's just the makso. When I was a kid, makso was just something you had to do before you got to the fun stuff, or something you had to do before you leave. And I would just sit there and kind of count how long it was taking just to pass the time. Now, I'll be honest with you, I look forward to it. And when I go on vacations or I am away for work for some time, I can notice a difference in myself when I haven't meditated in a while. And I spend that time not just to rest and relax, although I have since I said, I have a couple job titles and I have 6 kids that I know of. And so it's nice really sometimes to take that break and just to take a breather. But I try to spend that time not just relaxing, but really trying to think about how I can be better. And I really look at it as a time to pray and to think about, I kind of have a mantra that I tell myself in my head, and I'm praying to be a better father, to be a better husband, to be a better friend, to be a better doctor, to be a better teacher. And as I do that, I imagine the people that I'm doing that for, that I want to be better for. And that meditation doesn't just stop at Yameh. When we're saying our creed, it's so easy after years and years, once you've learned to just say these words over and over. But one thing I love that Sensei and Senpai always do every year is break that creed down in the message of the week and force us to look at those words. And if you think about it, to never do anything to reduce our mental growth or my physical health, to never be abusive or offensive. How many of us are really living those out, and how many of us can do better? Probably all of us can do better on those things. And so when I'm saying those words, I'm really thinking about how can I use this creed in my life? Who am I having a conflict right now with? How can I be better? And I'll even say kata. Kata is a meditative process of just personal growth and focus. And I know a lot of kids, it's like, okay, we've done Taijutsu Shodan over and over, we've done Pinan Shodan over and over, but I promise you, you get in that mindset, and it'll change your whole perspective on kata, it will change your whole perspective on life, and trying to be the best you can be. The last thing I want to talk about that's really changed for me is why I'm here. Why am I still doing this after 30 years? I mean, I don't know what the average length of stay for a martial arts student is, but I'm probably over that. And there's a reason I'm here. Right? In 1992, the reason I was here was because I begged my mom and dad on my birthday to let me do karate, because my motivation was I needed to find my own personal Mr. Miyagi or Splinter so I could become Daniel LaRusso or Donatello. Donatello does machines, by the way, if you didn't know. So that's a little bit different why I'm here now. I kept doing martial arts, and I stopped when I went to medical school because it was, in my mind, just too far away. It was about an hour drive. And I noticed, well, one, med school was very difficult. It was very stressful. I was frankly depressed, having a hard time getting through it. And I was missing something in my life that I had my whole childhood. And I remember calling Sensei up and trying to figure out how I can come back to improve my character, my perseverance, and just have fun. And so I came back after a couple of years and I would make that drive. Then I went away for the Air Force, and I was gone for several years. And while I was there, I went to a few different martial arts schools. And by the way, I went to some other martial arts schools before me and Sensei and Senpai and others who are here trained together and grew up together. If you haven't trained at another martial arts school, by the way, you don't know how lucky you are. Because there are a lot of interesting things going on out there. And there are people who are very talented and very knowledgeable and skillful, but maybe aren't the most professional and or most ethical people. There's also people out there who are very good, kind people, and or great businessmen, really good at selling their product. But their product just isn't that good. The skill just isn't there. We are so lucky to have the real deal, to have all of it. So I came back for myself to help after seeing a few other schools in the military, and some of them were better than others, but nothing compared here. But I wanted to come back largely, not to just perfect my punch and kick, but to perfect my character, to build and maintain my character. And while I was gone, I had kids. And they're the main reason I'm here. So I want them to build their character, maintain their character. And there's a reason we drive quite a ways to come to this school. Because being around the Romanelli family makes you a better person.
really should have thought that through a little better. Now I have to speak after that. And hold my composure, but thank you, Dr. Guina. What kind words. And, it's been a sincere pleasure. Look forward to the next chapter in that experience with you and with everybody.